Hello, beautiful creative people. This is Kiala Givehand of Giving Hands Creative, and I'm coming to you today, August 25th, again a Sunday at 6 p.m. for Book in a Day 34. So I think you've heard me mention before that my youngest nephew has moved to California from Florida to attend college, and so he just finished his first full week. And he came over this weekend for just family time, and I cooked him home-cooked meal. Then we took him out to eat on one night, and then today I cooked a home-cooked meal for him and sent him home with probably enough food for 2 weeks, but definitely enough to get him through the week as he enters into his second week. And it was just such a joy to spend time with him and my husband, and to sit around and just talk. And we played Scrabble today, which is why I'm so late starting the book. And so my book today is actually going to be, I'm going to try and write a quick story using all of the words from our Scrabble board. So I'm going to pop on the screen right now. I'm going to pop a photo of our Scrabble board, the finished Scrabble board. Okay, so you see the Scrabble board there. Lots of interesting words. And my goal is to try and write a short story that encompasses our conversation while we were playing Scrabble. A little bit before that, he had some homework he was doing, and so while I was cooking, he was doing his homework, and I was able to see what he was reading. And so there was conversation around that, and then at the Scrabble table, obviously. And so I'm going to try and write a short little story, something simple, that uses all of the words from the Scrabble board. Yes, I know, I'm making it hard on myself. And then I'm going to use, I think a couple weeks back, you heard me mention that my friend Lyle was visiting, and her 9-year-old daughter taught me a book structure, which, she's not claiming that she created, but I've never seen it done, never been taught that particular structure. So as far as I'm concerned, she taught me that structure, and so I'm going to be using that today to create this book. So fingers crossed for me that I can get it done. I really don't want to be up past 10 o'clock working on this book. Cross your fingers for me. Okay, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to do another quick time check, 6:09. So Book in a Day 34. I will see you on the other side. Beautiful people, it is 10:27 p.m. and I just want to show you all the different versions. My printer and I do not get along at all. We just every time I try to use my printer to print something, it just really, anytime I'm trying to do double-sided, it doesn't want to be my friend. So I just wanted to show you all the different versions I went through. So the first thing I did is I printed just the story itself on plain paper, and then I went through and actually created a sort of like a sample book of what I was going to be creating. So one page gets cut partially down the center, and another page gets cut just a little slit at the top and the bottom. So I had to sort of mark out where each page was going to fall, or where each page should fall, and what it should kind of look like. So that was my very first version. Then I don't even know the order of these after a certain point. it started to get kind of crazy. So I think this was maybe the next one that I did where I mapped it out what things needed to move over and how much space I needed to move things around. Okay, so then that was the second one. Then, and this is, you'll notice that this second one, the pages are stapled together because I wasn't ready to tackle trying to do double-sided with my printer. So I just stapled them together and did it that way, which also made me realize I needed thicker paper because it held together better. So then I started trying to, I made a couple other, I did one more staple version. And then I printed some out that for some reason didn't want to do double-sided. Then, again, this was my first attempt on a thicker cardstock sort of paper. And it printed out okay on the front and nothing on the back. So I just kept at it. This one printed, I don't know if you can see that, but it like double printed because I had it when I sent it back through the printer the second time. It, yeah, overprinted the first print. Yeah, it was crazy. So that was another mishap. Then I did this one and printed on the second side, and not only did it print upside down, but it printed in the wrong color. So literally I feel like my printer is just like out to get me. Then I tried this one, which printed right color upside down again. I mean, this is how many times I've gone through trying to get this printer to do what I wanted it to do. So finally, after a lot of finger crossing and begging the printer elves to get it right, we got it right. So let's walk through how the book is assembled. So I'm going to start by folding the pages and using the bone folder to get a good crease in them. And this is cardstock, so cardstock can be a little unforgiving in terms of once you fold, if you fold it wrong, it pretty much is a done deal. So I'm going to use an actual bone folder, not just my Teflon. Even though it kind of burnishes the paper when you do that, if you don't have something over the top of it. Okay, that's the first set of, or the first folio, and this is the second. And so literally this book is 2 pages. It's just a 2-page, and it can be more than that from what I understand, but I'm doing 1 book in a day, and so I figure it's better if I just keep it simple. Okay, so once you have that done, then you basically, if you've done a sample book like I did, you already know which one gets the slit and which one gets the sort of tabs at the top. So for my purposes, let me go back and look at my examples so that I don't mess it up, because I would hate to have to try and print again. That would drive me absolutely crazy. Okay, so this one gets the slits, and this one gets the longer slit. This one gets the slits at the top. So what I'm doing is I'm just measuring a little shy of 1 inch at the top and bottom, and I'm using my ruler and a pencil to mark that. So if this is my 1 inch, I'm actually going to come in to about right there. Just make a little dot so that I can see it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Same spot. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and my ruler, and I'm just going to double check this one gets the slit. Which one does this one get? Okay, this one does get the slit. Just want to make sure, because once it's done, it is done. Okay, so I'm just going to take it and cut right to my mark. And I'm going to do a couple of cuts here because I'm using cardstock. And I went a little far. Okay, now that's good. And the same thing down here. And so essentially what I have is a slit top and a slit at the bottom. So 2 slits. Okay. Put that one to the side and come over to my next one that is going to get a slit down the center. So I'm going to measure that as well. And I'm actually going to come in, let's see what I did on this one. Okay, so about a little bit shy. So if I came here for the first one, I'm going to come a little closer in for that one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'm just making these marks so that I know where to start and stop my X-Acto knife. Okay, so take my X-Acto, and that one I want to get right on the line. Alright, and then I'm just going to come right down the middle. Careful not to go past my mark. Alright, and I just want to do one more, make sure it's in there. Alright, now I'm going to erase my pencil marks just because I don't need them there anymore. Okay, now this is the tricky part because I need to roll this just gently. I'm not really pressing hard, I'm just kind of doing a really loose roll. And then I know that I want this to be the cover of the book. So in order for that to be the cover, I actually need to go in like this. So I'm just going to roll that. I'm trying not, I don't want to crease it. So I'm trying to be careful. I'm going to open this slot and slide this in. And then as I'm sliding it in, I'm going to gently allow, I don't want these to tear. Gently allow it to unroll right where the slot and the tabs sort of meet. Okay, then I'm just going to fold. And I'm actually going to, there's a little bit of give there, so I'm going to slide it up just a little to make sure I can fold this down without tearing. And when I tell you I'm being super careful, I am being like super careful because, well, for one thing, I don't want to fight with my printer again. And I don't want to rip the paper. When Savia was teaching me this, she kept telling me to be careful, be careful. She kept using those words, be careful. Okay, and the book is done. Obviously, I'm not happy with how much space I have over here. It's way more than I want it to have. I wanted this to be more centered, but I'm going to have to roll with it. And then we have the blank Scrabble board that we started with, and then the beginning of the story, the rest of the story. And you'll notice that I put the words from our list. The words from our list are actually underlined in bold in the story. And then the final board when we were all done, and the score. Of course, Damon won. Darn it. Yeah. And then we have the colophon. Again, not printing the way I wanted it to print in terms of spacing. But I'm, again, just going to live with it because it's a book in a day and it's done. Very simple. That's a super simple structure that can be used for, you can use multiple pages. You can have multiple pages that roll and go on the inside. You just have to be mindful of this slit and the fact that it is still paper and can tear pretty easily. So you want to be mindful of that. Otherwise, this is a great I mean, she was 9 and she was able to teach this. I mean, her mom was standing right there watching, but she really didn't interject. She allowed her to just teach me how to do it. And apparently she taught this to her classmates without her mother even knowing she was going to do it. So isn't that awesome? It's a great structure, really easy to do, something great to do with your kids, or just for yourself. It's a really simple structure. No sewing, no gluing, which I'm so over the glue right now. Yeah, it's a great structure. So book 34 is done. It's called Scrabbled. And yeah, I wish I could fix that spacing without having to go through the drama of reprinting all of my pages again. Who knows, maybe if I ever decide to edition this book, I will work on that spacing and adjust that. But for tonight, book 34 is done. I'm quite excited and happy about it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will go out and create something beautiful this week. See you next week.